I just came back from Antigua and I want to tell you all about it. Antigua Guatemala. Fabulous, fabulous colonial city. I've been several times, but this was an incredible wedding and it reminded me how beautiful it is to explore these World Heritage sites in the region, for which Panama is perfect because it is a hub. Now, one of the things that are my passion is historic cities. How do they compare? If you haven't been to Guatemala and you have been to Casco Viejo, let's do a little bit of comparisons. What you find there, what you find here, how is it similar, how is it different? So let's get started. First things first, they're both World Heritage Sites. So what that means is that they're both UNESCO monuments. Now, Casco Viejo is a new kid on the block compared to Antigua. Antigua was designated in 1979. Panama was designated in 1997. And in a way, as a colonial city, Antigua versus Casco, Antigua is older. Antigua is 16th century, where Casco is 17th century. Remember, Panama had Panama Viejo before Casco Viejo. So we kind of like moved around a little bit. In Antigua, they kind of was like, let's just stay here. But it's also very different. You'll see that because it has kind of how it was built with stones, you'll see there's stone streets, like really like these big bold stones, versus Casco, which is more like brick. And we'll talk about like the walkability in it. If you're going, mind your step. It is kind of hard to walk around. You really do have to be like watching. And you'll see Antigua, it's a classic colonial city in its grid, in its construction. It's very horizontal. That's the other difference with Casco Viejo. Casco Viejo is more vertical. And I think it has to do with the fact that Antigua's site is just larger and it was more that capital of the colonies there, and it was more like administrative, it was more agricultural, it's surrounded by volcanoes. In Panama, it's in a peninsula, so it's gonna feel more constrained. It's definitely smaller, and our vocation was trading, shipping, commerce. So what you'll see in Antigua is more houses, more homes, the way that those colonial homes used to be, which were flatter, maybe just one story, big patio in the middle. It's more like that Spanish colonial. Whereas in Panama, it's more flexible. You see, it's a salad of styles, and you will always have a shop on the bottom and then homes on the top. That's kind of how it used to be. Even when the house was like a whole family house, usually that house would have their own commerce on the bottom. So in Antigua, it's more like those haciendas. And you'll see that it is surrounded by coffee farms, for example. Where in Panama, you can drink the coffee. We don't produce it in Casco. We bring it from Boquete. We just give you the coffee experience here. There is a real deal. Like, you can walk to the edges of Antigua and be in a coffee farm. And it's amazing. It's amazing. The other big difference is that Guatemala, because you are higher in the mountains, and remember, to get to Antigua, you have to fly into Guatemala City, and then it's an hour. Depends on the traffic, actually. 2 hours can be your drive all the way to Antigua if you hit the traffic wrong. So try not to hit it on the top hours. Pro tip. In Casco, obviously, you're right to the Cumen Airport, and 20 minutes, you're in Casco. There it's like 2 hours. So you're truly in the mountains. Now you get the eternal spring. In Casco, you get the eternal tropics, if you know what I mean. The other thing is that because it is surrounded by agriculture, you also have a lot of the indigenous artesanias. The handcrafts are original. They're from there. You will see it's very prevalent. You will see them in the plazas selling, and they can take you and see how it gets made. It's all right there. In Panama, you do have handcrafts from the indigenous groups, but also you see a lot of handcrafts actually coming from Guatemala, and they're in the stores branded Panama, but they're not. They're actually from Guatemala. Guatemala is a powerhouse for artesanías. So if you want to go to an artesanía market, you will see that all the fabrics, they're truly handmade there, and you can go see that. Between the things that you can do when you are in Guatemala, you can go visit the churches. You can go. It has such a strong. I mean, remember, this was the capital. It was like kind of like this administrative. This was homes. Here it was so much commerce, so transient. It's just different, and just in terms of size, also just to understand the population. I mean, Guatemala has like 18 million people. In Panama, we struggle to get to 4. So it's just the size, the sheer size of the site. Guatemala, think about it, it's basically, 22 hectares? And Panama doesn't get even to 0.5 hectares. So there you would see, for example, major religious cofradías, organizations, the Dominicos, Las Claras, they will have real footprint. Here in Casco, you have, of course, I mean, there were churches, there are churches, but not in the sense of the powerhouse of the religious orders that were in Guatemala. Go there and visit, for example, La Casa Santo Domingo. It's been turned into a hotel. And it's a beautiful hotel museum. So it's a beautiful place. Go visit. It has a museum inside. You don't need to stay there to visit. There's restaurants. They allow people in the museum. They have even a convention center. How big is that it has a convention center inside? Like that, we couldn't even dream of in Casco Viejo, everything so petit. I mean, the Dominicos had had a footprint, but not like this. Not at all. And it's very much alive because it is a hotel. Go there and explore. It really feels, the peace, the greenery. That's the other difference. Guatemala is volcano, it's springs, it's mountains, so there's trees everywhere, every patio, every garden. You don't see anything happening from outside. You go inside and bam! Big difference in Casco, where life is outside, life is on the street, in those commercial spaces downstairs. You walk Antigua and you feel it sleepy in the sense of life. There are some commercial spaces, but not as much. Until you walk into those houses, you walk into those restaurants and into those bars, and boom, now you see a collection of patios. Some of them even join between each other. In Casco Viejo, everything happens outside. It happens on the plazas, happens on the streets. Very, very different. You might make the mistake of thinking that Antigua is very sleepy. I mean, it is compared to Casco Viejo, but not really if you explored it right. So go and see Casa Santo Domingo. Go and visit the Convento Santa Clara. It's a beautiful ruin. Now it has been open for events, for weddings. That's where we were. And it is incredible, the footprint and the beauty of those ruins, how well preserved they have kept them. Other things you can do, because you're so near to the mountains, you can go to Atitlan, the lake. You can go hike. Again, you can do the coffee tours. There are really, really nice restaurants. Now, a note on Guatemalan food. You would think that because their culture is so colorful, they really do use all those colors in their fabrics, in their handcrafts. And, their food is produced locally. You can make the mistake of thinking or comparing it to Mexico. It is not. So Mexico will bring spice in, and it's known for picante, right? Like nothing in Mexico. I think they'll give it in the milk bottle, baby. No, that is not Guatemala. You will find ingredients. You will have the beans, and you will have the tortillas, and they will have heirloom tortillas, tortilla blanca, tortilla morada, like a purple, and that's a purple corn, locally grown, and different type of corns. Like corns is not just yellow, guys, and those tortillas can come out in different colors. but you will not find the picante. So some people in the wedding were like, "Ah, where's the picante?" And it feels Mexican in the explosion of colors, but you will not have that aspect. In Panama, we're also not completely picante driven, although we have a Caribbean culture and we have an Afro-Antillean influence. So you will see a little bit of that here and there. You will see also more mix of ingredients. And remember, we are a peninsula, we're ocean driven. So you will find with us like the ceviches, the fishes, the seafood, and the cocoa, and all that tropical flavors, and just the mix and the playfulness. You will find in Antigua more the corns, the beans, a more local driven, less on the fish side, more on the meat side, gastronomy, and cocoa, cacao, all of that, no, like the ancient cacaos. So it was an interesting weekend. I enjoyed it absolutely. Comparing historic cities is awesome. From Panama, an easy flight. It was like pim pow, come and go, and it always leaves you wanting more, which is the great thing. So if you've been to Guatemala and if you've been to Casco Viejo, compare them. Tell me which one was your favorite, why. Should I make a real estate video about Antigua versus Casco Viejo? They're so different. Casco is very different from all the other colonial cities, with exception of Cuba. And I have my theories about it. So if you want me to do a video about it, let me know. And if you like this video, subscribe.